The Last of Us has been a well-rated yet controversial series because of how it differs from the original game. They have made many changes from the source material, and one of those was the relationship of Frank and Bill. Even though the episode was a few weeks ago, it is still facing criticism, and now one of the show's actresses is coming out and saying, "We don't care what you think, and if you don't like it, this show isn't for you." I have a bunch of different things to show off, but before we get into the topic at hand, if you enjoy the content that I create, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media like Twitter or mine so that you can see when my content is posted. And of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and the live streams that I create, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. Now, of course, she is not the first actress with this show to come out and basically attack anyone who is criticizing the series so far. Bella Ramsey did that, which I will show off, but it says the actress Storm Reed responds to homophobic backlash, says if you don't like it, don't watch it. And my problem with that is these people don't know the source material, right? Bella Ramsey, Pedro Pascal, they admitted in interviews that they were told to not play the games. They were told to not consume the content because this show was going to be different. They don't understand that the people that loved the original game and supported the original game just wanted them to accurately adapt that game. That's all that we really wanted. We didn't want all of these changes, yet of course we're called homophobic if we criticize it. It says the actress Storm Reed recently responded to the backlash over the show's blatant portrayal of specific lifestyles. It says, speaking with Variety, she was asked, "Bella, you have previously spoken about the homophobic backlash to the show and why you're not letting it scare you. Storm, what's your take on this topic, especially knowing that there will likely be a response to this particular episode?" And she responded, I think Bella put it perfectly a couple of weeks ago, if you don't like it, don't watch it. There's so many other things to worry about in the world. I think being concerned about who people love is just absurd to me. I will never understand it. I don't get it. Now, the problem that a lot of people have with the show is the fact that they have decided to change around relationships and dynamics of relationships just to put representation on screen. I have absolutely no problems with seeing LGBT romances in content that it, of course, fits in, and this is not one of those shows, at least the first season, because of course in The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie is, with a girl, she is a lesbian, but in the first game, this did not exist. The Frank and Bill story was very different. By the end of their kind of storyline, they hated each other. So this ended in a completely different way with those two characters changing, again, the whole dynamic of their relationship, and people do not like that. Does that mean we are homophobic? No. It means we want you to stick to the original content that the game covers, and that happened to be, them not getting their own episode. They already have had 2 filler episodes, and there's only 9 episodes in a season. I don't want to waste my time with filler. Like in the previous episode, the one that just aired, they decided to adapt the DLC. While yes, I'm sure that there are people who liked the episode and enjoyed the episode, they're still missing out on the main game content because they're so worried about adding the DLC and, of course, Bill and Frank's story. She also continued, I think despite what people are going to say if they don't like it, I think there are going to be a lot more people that appreciate it. A lot more people that feel represented and seen and heard, so that's what matters. That's where the work comes in, and that's when it's appreciated, and you prioritize looking at those tweets rather than the ones that aren't best. Again, I think that representation is fine in media, but go and create new, original characters, give them backgrounds, make them very fleshed out characters, and actually, give them their own story instead of taking something like The Last of Us and going, you know what, we're just going to change characters and what they, do and say, the way they act, and of course their backstories. But that was the problem with this series from day one. Neil Druckmann, who of course is the head of Naughty Dog, is behind this show, so you'd think that it would be accurate to source material, but no, he was so happy that HBO gave him a chance to work on this series. He was like, yeah, let's change whatever you guys want. Let's do whatever you feel like, because he was basically sucking up to them. And that is what's sad. Even he didn't want to accurately adapt the source material. He just cared about getting a paycheck and about this show being on televisions, even if it wasn't completely accurate. I can't even imagine how bad this show will get when they finally adapt the plot lines that are in the second game, because that story completely trashed the first game and the main characters, so I assume that they're going to take all of this even further. And of course, Bella Ramsey has said very similar statements in the past. I know people will think what they want to think, but they're gonna have to get used to it. If you don't want to watch the show because it has a gay storyline, because it has a trans character, that's on you, and you're missing out. And this attitude just isn't a good one. All of these actresses are basically saying, if you don't like it, don't watch it, don't consume it, it's not for you. You're not going to get new fans and new people to watch it if you're going to act this way. I hate when actors and actresses act like they know best. I know that ultimately when they're going into these interviews, they are, handed a script, general playbook to go off of, but it just makes them look even worse. People do not like Bella Ramsey because of how stuck up and snobby she is acting, and this other actress, Storm Reed, will probably get very similar responses. And, another big problem with the show is that we were tricked into watching it, and I'm not coming up with that wording. The director straight up admitted to tricking audiences to push gay storylines. This is another issue. People should not be tricked into watching content. The content that is in the show should be in the trailer. It should be in the descriptions. We should know what we're getting ourselves into. And this is just, again, another very bad thing to do to audiences, because this is only going to piss people off more. Tricking audiences, and that was their wording, which is very unfortunate. I loved the first Last of Us game. I thought that it was really good. It did have some problems though, but overall it was fairly enjoyable. And unfortunately, yes, the show is getting multiple seasons, and I'm sure they're gonna make even more changes to the source material. And this game does visually look pretty good. It's not the best. It's at least okay. The acting is, of course, okay. I like Pedro Pascal's acting. Bella Ramsey, to me, I never really saw her as Ellie. I think she's doing an okay job, but this show is not perfect. It is far from perfect, and now we have these situations to deal with. I'm sorry, but an actress having a complete meltdown because people don't want to watch this series makes me not want to watch this series, and it makes me not like this actress. Bella Ramsey, Storm Reed, all of these actresses are just making themselves look worse, and they're making the show look worse as well. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.